a bitter bug. I didn't get cuddled.
I think we made up for it in New Orleans last weekend.
Oh, okay. What made you choose Serenity over Valerie?
Speak up.
Um,
Today, Serenity said, "Not on my watch. You are not going to continue to make Tyler the bad guy." And she was not here for Chaz's silly games. She read him for filth. Oh my god, and I loved every second of it. I know they cut it out. I wish they'd given us the full length. I'd rather have done without all the Joel and Bella and Chad and Phoebe. I would just rather have had an hour long of just Serenity being her best self. Anyway, hey there. Thanks for stopping by. If you're new to my channel, please don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. It's your girl Valerie again. In this episode, I'll be reviewing Love Island USA season 4, the reunion. It's episode 38.
They like
Oh,
to message, while he's with me and message him like, I know you're with her, but hey, I'm here. And I'm like, yeah, you're there.
Are they here right now?
No, they couldn't make it.
my God, I had a blast. I really enjoyed the first half. It's like the whole season anyway. The first half of the season was amazing because you had these people that were not there for to be petty or toxic. You just had people that were just there to entertain you. You had characters like Deb and Serenity, and this was the same thing that happened on the reunion. So to start off with, I think they were petty for sitting Tyler next to Val. Tyler and Val's storyline only briefly sort of crossed just because Valerie chasing after Jesse had failed, and because she knew she needed to be in a coupling to stay in the villa, that's why she went after Tyler. Otherwise, her first choice, as she said, was Isaiah, but then she wasn't too sure for Isaiah, so she went for Jesse. And Tyler was just an afterthought because she wanted a safety blanket. And even with that, they brought them both on stage, and I don't understand why. When Bella got to go on stage on her own, Nadja got to go on stage on her own. Almost every other person went on stage on their own. So I don't understand why we had they. I think they're trying to. It's either nobody else wanted to sit next to Valerie, or they were trying to avoid having to sit Valerie on the same stage with Jesse. So instead of doing that, they brought in Tyler to sort of fill in a seat, and so they started off with Valerie, asked her how she felt about, Jesse and how he led her. And this is something that's already been addressed. Zita asked her about this. She spoke at length about it. I don't know why they needed to speak to her about it. I think they were trying to cover up because there's been online rumors that Val was already in a relationship when she went on the show. She put out an IG live where she said, no, it was her ex-boyfriend who first got on the show, and when he got on the show, he was asked about his previous partners, and so they then contacted her and brought her in as a bombshell. And then I think he was made to come in. I think they wanted to do what the UK version did, where they brought Gemma's ex Jax on the show. I think this was their goal, but Valerie's ex ended up leaving the show before going on to the show. And I think on their live they say that they then reconnected and made up, and they're now in a relationship. Um, from there, Tyler, I hate the way the show tried to portray Serenity as someone who nobody would like, and they were happy when all the guys were sort of turning their noses at her and not wanting to be in a romantic relationship. And I think Tyler coming in sort of threw them off because I think they had someone in mind that they hoped would end up coupling with Tyler. And when he coupled with Serenity, I think that threw them off. And so because as I said, Valerie, her ex-boyfriend was waiting in the wings, so I think that they might have thought that Valerie would end up coupling with Tyler, and this sort of threw them off. And because you could hear with the question that they showed us, whereby I don't think that was the first question they asked him. I think they might have edited out some bits out because they asked him, "Oh, how did you feel about Serenity saying that your actions and your words don't match?" And he sort of started to answer. You could tell he was nervous and he was uncomfortable, but he was trying to be because Tyler always comes across as someone who's very thoughtful, as someone who's sort of very reflective in himself. He even said it that I envy people like Isaiah because they, just say what they want, whereas I am more sort of methodical in my thought process. And so he started to say, I can see how she might have felt that way. And Serenity thought, you're not going to, continue to tarnish my guy with that sort of brush. And she went, I felt I was, being grumpy just because I didn't get a cuddle. And I like the fact that Tyler came in with his response that, he went to New Orleans, gave her the cuddle, and things are okay. And so I think that sort of everybody was shocked. Well, not everybody per se, because Courtney knew, because Courtney, I think said in an interview that Serenity did a FaceTime with her when Tyler landed in New Orleans. So she already knew about that. But the people that were still in the villa, the Deb, Jesse, Zita, Timmy, Isaiah, and Sydney had no idea. So they were like, what the hell did we miss? And then, Serenity was asked, do you want to come up? I said, of course. So she came up, and as she came up, we had the entertainment we've all been waiting for. She was waiting for the golden opportunity because Tyler was asked, so what's going on with Serenity? He was asked, why did you choose Serenity over Val? And he gave his reason because he's always given a very comprehensive explanation of why he chose Valerie. And it's sad that people, it's why he chose Serenity. And it's sad that people can't accept that he would choose Serenity over Valerie, over Maddie, over Deb, because how could he suddenly find her attractive? But he found her attractive. He still finds her attractive. They're in a relationship, even though they didn't confirm that they're in a relationship. But on their IG live, when Jeff came into their life and he was saying, "Oh, congratulations, you make a cute couple," blah, blah, they both said, "Thank you, thank you." When they were asked on the show, they just said, "Oh, we're exploring." I think it's because of the backlash that Tyler received, and they would rather people not have put in their opinions in their relationship. And I have to commend them for that, because why sell this happily ever after to a show that trashed your relationship. I know during the live, Serenity said she's going to Cleveland to see Tyler, and Tyler confirmed, yeah, because she was asked. Someone was saying, are you going to go and see Tyler? And they both said she's coming to Cleveland, and she wasn't sure of the dates anymore, and he had to confirm you're coming next week, and then from there we'll go to LA, and it's just like, okay, they are moving quietly, and I love that for them. You can see it's a very authentic relationship, and I like the fact that Tyler, someone said, oh, Tyler, he's not good for Serenity. Serenity is very bubbly. He is the calm that she needs. Serenity and Tyler remind me of Zita and Timmy. Timmy is very calm, and Zita, will just say it as it is. And at times, Timmy has to sort of not restrain. Tyler and Timmy don't restrain Serenity and Zita, but they're just there in the background, just sort of as their conscience, I think, just to sort of remind them that, no, you can't say that. But if things get out of hand, like things did with Jeff, Timmy stepped up, and with Tyler, I know for a fact the conversation with Chaz, had it gone left, he would have stepped up, because I've seen him countless times whereby he's not afraid to check people who go after Serenity. He checked Sydney on Love Island when she tried to say, "Oh, Serenity talks in her sleep." He sort of gently checked one of the girls from the after show when they were talking about Serenity crying after he left. This lady tried. He did another podcast where someone was trying to sort of say, "Oh, so after the show finishes, will you go after Valerie and blah and Deb?" And they didn't respond. They just kept quiet. So I really like their relationship, and the fact that they've decided to keep it quiet and not, expose it as everybody else has done. So I was happy with that. Then with Serenity, they then moved on to Serenity. Serenity was asked, Serenity read Chaz for Phil. She read Chaz for Phil. The fact that Timmy tried to say that, oh, he came in with the best of intentions. Timmy was just saying that because he's friends with Chaz. And Chaz tried to throw Courtney and Zita under the bus. And I think his conversation was with Zita. Courtney, I think, had nothing to do with it, because you could see from her face when he said, oh, Courtney and Zita told me that Serenity was villainizing me. And Courtney's face, you could tell she wanted to say something, but she restrained herself. And then Zita sort of went into detail and sort of explained how she felt. And I don't get it. Even if Zita said she felt like Serenity treated him like a villain, his actions after Serenity left show he is a villain. He went through girls like he was going through his boxes. So he is still a villain, no matter how you look at it. His sister was, you could tell she felt some type of, I think his sister agrees with whatever happened between him and Serenity, because I think they expected Serenity to just go along with whatever nonsense they were up to. And the fact that Serenity didn't stick up for the sister when she was going through whatever mess she was going through with the girls and Timmy, I think this is why they chose not to apologize to Serenity. I think the least they could have done is Chaz and his sister should have apologized to Serenity for matching her with Chaz, even though she said she didn't see anything romantic with him. Anyway, I digress. From there, we'll move on to Bria. Bria is the face of delusional. I'm sorry to say. She lives in a make believe world because she's still going on after leaving the villa. After Timmy has declared that it's an exclusive relationship, she's still going on about how Timmy didn't give her a fair chance, and I don't know what else she wants. And I like the fact that they were smart to do the reunion before the islanders left the villa because on her IG live, oh god, I was up late last night watching these IG lives. They were amazing. Zita stated that her Zimi fans have told her to keep quiet, but had she known before the reunion the things that Bria was saying about her, then the reunion would have gone down a different way. And I wish she had known. And I know for a fact, had she known, she would have read Bria fulfilled because Bria is playing victim the same way her brother is playing victim. I don't know why they like to play victim. He is playing victim because he thinks Serenity did not appreciate him. She was not reciprocating whatever he was doing. Serenity told him she was not interested in a romantic relationship with him. She told him she was happy to talk to him, but she didn't want to be in a romantic relationship with him. His sister Timmy told her the same, but she still goes on playing victim because Timmy didn't give her enough time. Timmy had to apologize for that. I don't know why he did that. Anyway, I don't know. Anyway, moving on, we get to Kat and Joe and Jared. Kat obviously and Jared left the villa as a couple, and you can see who the show wants to make. These romantic fairy tale love stories. Jared and Kat and Maddie, and now Bella and Joel. Whereas people like Serenity are given this, or they're not easy to love or they're unlovable storylines. So Kat, they talked about their relationship. They talked about how Kat has already met his mother, Jared's mother, and she's now his girlfriend. And for me, I'm happy for them. I'm happy for them. At least they got a great edit, so they don't mind exposing their relationship because the fans are rooting for them. Whereas other people who didn't get such a positive sort of storyline would not be in that position. So I'm happy for them. Bella was there. She was talking about her relationship with Chaz and how, she sort of felt things had gone, and also the fact that she had a connection with Joel. Joel came out with a poem for her, and you know, they sort of kissed, and she explained to Joel what happened after they left the show, the fact that she made out with Chaz, but it didn't mean anything, and she's willing to explore things with Joel. That was good for him. And it's interesting. It's interesting the fact that even though Timmy was trying to speak up for him and say he was a great guy and said that and the other, all the girls he messed about with are now in relationships with other boys. And you can tell some of the guys are not happy. Tyler's not happy with the way that you could see his reaction. You could see his reaction when Serenity was reading him for Phil that he was happy with whatever she was saying. He didn't have any problems with that. Joel, you could see his reaction as well when Bella spoke about the case and stuff. You could see that that made him feel some type of way. And then when he was talking, when Chaz was talking about, oh, I gave 100% to Serenity, I gave 100% to Kat, and they didn't appreciate me. You could see the camera zoomed in on Jared, and you could see he wasn't happy with that. He was restraining himself from saying something, but he wasn't happy with that. Chad and Phoebe, Chad, I don't think even cares because they did have a conversation with them. I still don't understand that relationship. They said they're not putting relationships. Chad doesn't like pressure. I think it's just them buying time and looking for sponsorship deals and looking for money. And then once that happens, they will break up. I have nothing more to say about them too, unless it's coming in with their Isaiah stuff. Um, and then Chaz was brought on stage. They had a conversation with him, and he's still trying to play victim in the sense that no one appreciated whatever he was doing. He said he went to Casamo. He was asked about Casamo and how he played the girls in Casamo. Because the girls in Casamo did say that he would tell every girl something different. And Timmy knows this because at one time Timmy had to sit him down and cancel him and made a face when he said, oh, how can I leave Phoebe because she keeps coming for me? You are telling me to stick with Bella, but Phoebe keeps coming for me. What shall I do when she comes to me? And so they then spoke about Gabby and how Gabby felt she'd been treated by Chaz, and Chaz was trying to brush it off and just make, be very dismissive. And that's when they brought Gabby out. I don't even know why they brought Gabby out. I don't even know why they brought Gabby out. Well, anyway, she came out, she explained how she felt he'd used her, and he shouldn't have taken her to the hideaway if he knew that he wasn't interested in her. And that's when, I think he only apologized. And this is where you see that Bria has a big hand in whatever Chaz did, because she said he needs to apologize and he immediately apologized. You could tell he didn't want to apologize, but because his sister told him to apologize, that's why he apologized to to um to Gabby. And after Gabby, they had a conversation with uh Jesse and Deb. Jesse and Deb, though they showed the ups and downs of their relationship, they didn't really discuss anything negative. They were happy that they're moving on. Jesse's lease is ending at the end of September, and he's moving to LA. And I don't know whether he's moving in with Deb, although Deb was saying she's going to Texas for a bit, so she will pass through and see Jesse and his family. I think before he moves, she was going to help him move anyway. So that's them. I'm happy for them. They seem to be doing amazing. They were very excited with me. They were really letting loose. I think some of the people are not very used to being on camera and sort of struggled with sort of being followed by cameras all the time, even though they knew they would have cameras following them all the time. From there, they go to Sydney and Isaiah, and obviously it comes up about Isaiah and Phoebe incident and stuff. And for me, I think I wish they'd waited even a week or two. Maybe people's schedules didn't allow them to do the reunion at a later date, and maybe Sarah had other commitments. That's why they decided to do it as soon as the show ended. And so Phoebe and Isaiah, for me, I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I know Isaiah was on IG. Unfortunately, it was too many people. I think there had four people in the IG live, and so I tuned out of that. And then I immediately saw Tyler and Serenity were on IG, so I went to that. Um, I'm happy for Sydney and Isaiah. Will that last? I don't know. We'll see. I think let's just take it a day at a time, because you said he's based in Miami, she's based in LA. So I think it's a matter of one of them having to move to the other. So it's either he will move or Sydney will move, but they'll see. They are going to take their relationship at their own pace, they said. Which, okay, that's good. They spoke to Courtney. Courtney spoke about her relationship and how she knew her worth and how she was not willing to compromise. I like the shade. She said, she was asked, "Do you regret, coupling up with Chad?" And she said, "No, because at least he was able to find someone on his level." Which to me was just like, okay, let's go. She said, he was able to find someone on his level. Courtney has reconnected with Bryce because, she felt, there was a connection that they could build upon, even though they had issues in the village. She felt in the real world it would be better. They've gone on a date on the beach, and he also drove them down just because, they missed their train because she was getting dressed. And every time the islanders have been asked who takes the longest to get dressed, they've always said it's Courtney, so it wasn't surprising. And I hope it works between her and Bryce. I was always doubtful of her connection with Bryce. I thought Felipe was better for her, but she had a different opinion about Felipe. Anyway, she knows best because she spent 24 hours with Bryce, so she knows who's a better partner or who is more likely to make a better partner for her. I like the fact that she was sitting with Serenity and then only moved to sit with Bryce once, they had been revealed as a couple. And so we have a couple of couples that have formed after they left the villa. So Courtney and Bryce, Serenity and Tyler, even though they didn't put a label on their couple, I'll continue to say that. Kat and Jared, Joel and Bella. And I don't know if there is Val, but Val is in a couple with her ex-boyfriend who was signed up for the show but didn't get the opportunity to come on, even though he was in the hotel isolating. So that's interesting to see. I and then they brought on Nadja. For me, I've watched Nadja's interview that she did on After the Sun, and I've watched her conversation here. And I think Nadja's trying to rewrite history. She's trying not to make it. She's trying to clear her own name, for lack of a better word, because when she talks about her actions, she tries to come across as someone who was very reflective. Because she was asked about her relationship with they discussed the last 48 hours anyway before she and Jeff left the villa, and she sort of in After the Sun, I felt she was trying to rewrite history. I felt she was trying to sort of clear her own name and sort of throw Jeff not completely under the bus, but slightly under the bus, maybe just this week. And the same thing happened when she spoke about, when she was asked about the events that led to them, leaving the villa, and she tried to sort of clear her name in a certain way. And it's surprising because Jeff, when he came onto Serenity and Tyler's life, he said that he would be going to Atlanta, and I know Nadja lives in Atlanta, so it's obvious he's going to see Nadja. I know he said he signed a deal with, I think, Fashion Nova or someone. He was telling Tyler and Serenity, and they were excited for him. So for me, I don't get it. I don't. I know she was. I know Nadja was asked to clear, their names and the incident and whatever happened. I think if it was me, I would have said this. Yes, Jeff was wrong. This was what he did is wrong, and I know we still need to have a conversation. But I would like to sincerely apologize on behalf of Jeff and myself to to Phoebe and Chad because they didn't get the opportunity to leave the villa in a way that, was ideal for them. They lost their opportunity to leave the villa. There was too much drama surrounding their eviction. And also, I'd like to apologize to the other three couples, especially to Deb and Jesse. We did not mean to undermine your relationship, but we were just expressing our opinion. I know we didn't have the full facts, and I'm sorry if you feel something. This is what I expected her to say. Unless you said it and they cut it out, but that would have been my sort of my take on that. And then lastly, Zita and Timmy. Zita did express that Timmy wasn't feeling well at the reunion, and you could tell he wasn't great. I didn't like the fact that he tried to sort of say Chaz, you know, he did sort of try to sort of make amends by saying there's no one is wrong in this situation. I think Chaz to some extent is wrong in the sense that you know he tried to use Serenity to his advantage by getting her fan base because he knew if he went with Maddie wasn't that popular. Even in the reunion episode, she and Andy were cut out, even though apparently they had, a very sort of nice little segment that they did. Deb and Zita confirmed that their segment was cut out. I think they're the only people at the reunion whose segment was Maddie and Andy, whose segment was cut out, I think, because they thought the fans would be bored with that. So Zita and Timmy, they spoke about going to London because Zita's mom has invited Timmy. They did speak about Zita did I know Deb and Serenity have said that they are going to London as well. I don't know whether they're going on the same trip or whether it will be a different trip. Um, it's a pity that they didn't give Zita and Timmy time to sort of recover from filming, maybe a week or two. That way, Zita would have caught up on whatever's been said about her. But I think maybe they did that because they didn't want the drama between Zita and Bria, because Bria has been saying a lot behind Zita's back, and even on her IG live, Zita acknowledged that she didn't realize that these are all the things that Bria was saying about her, but she's going to keep quiet, take the high road just because the Zimi fans have asked her to take the high road and they will deal with it. But if need be, she will step up and she will speak up for herself because she doesn't think it's on. And this is what I like about Bria, Serenity, and Courtney. They will always say it as it is. They don't mince their words. They're going to tell you to your face. You're going to get upset. You're going to be happy. Whatever you feel, that's your own business. And so I really enjoyed season four. I felt it was amazing. I am really going to miss it. I'm going to miss the people on the show. It was great reunion. I wish they'd given us more time. I wish they'd had, like the Real Housewives of Atlanta and company. I wish they'd done a part one, part two, part three. And that would have been amazing. Then everybody else would have had an opportunity. But I think they wanted to maintain sort of certain storylines. And this is why they kept it to one day, which I don't know. Anyway, thanks, guys, for watching. See you next year when we have another Love Island USA, but I will be reviewing Love Island UK when it comes in the winter. Thanks, guys, for watching. Don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe, and turn on the notification bell for when I upload new videos. I will be uploading regularly. Bye, everyone.